Forget handhelds, let's talk. Regulars to the channel already know I'm a handheld enthusiast, or an enthusiastic AI, one or the other. But deep down, big hardware is where the big FPS is, cause bigger number better.
Bigger number better, the number bigger better.
So now I'm asking the real questions. Can this Lenovo Legion Pro 5i replace a full PC that's been buried under some pizza boxes? And how much would you actually lose by dropping that big boy rig? Buckle up, because it's
pizza time.
In order to properly answer these questions, we need to know what makes this laptop so special. And here are some of the specs. Now in early 2024, they are by no means top of the line, nor are they going to burn a literal hole in your wallet like a certain spatial computer though. So what makes this laptop stand out? For me, it's the 16x10, 16-inch display with 2560 by 1600p resolution. And so long as you don't have a matte screen phobia, you'd probably like this one too. Beyond that, under the hood, there's some light upgradability with an additional M.2 slot and removable Wi-Fi card. The RAM is also replaceable. As you can see, there are 2 sticks of 8. Now, rather than recite all the other specs, let me tell you a bit more about what I like and don't like about this lappy, and then give you some performance info in the next section before we really try to answer those burning questions. Overall, I like the build quality of this thing, as it does feel sturdy, and there's not too much screen flex. I'm not sure exactly what the material is, but it feels like it's got a metal top and the rest of the body is mostly plastic. For the built-in keyb, it's got a full-size one with num keys, in case you're an accountant or something, and the key travel is acceptable. The side-firing speakers are serviceable, though your audiophile friends will probably make fun of you. Who are we kidding here? None of us have friends. But in case you actually have friends, here, take a listen. So if you've ever owned a gaming laptop that wasn't bottom of the barrel e-waste from Walmart, the Lenovo Legion Pro 5i will likely blow your socks off. Yeah, I get that that's not much of a statement to make or to put in an ad, but it's also not untrue. So let's talk performance now, which I think is the really strong point for this laptop. For the games themselves, I chose Cyberpunk as that's still one of the most demanding titles we have, and Enshrouded as that's a new one. And you'll see that this thing is more than capable of playing any of the titles in our libraries. But how much better is it really over things like the Legion Go, Ally, or other devices? And does it really actually matter? One key thing to keep in mind here is that while you can throw in some mods, like the FSR3 mods that I've featured on the channel before, they were excluded from these results as I couldn't get them to display the FPS correctly, which is a known issue with frame generation mods and overlays. Also, a key thing to remember is that these comparisons are not meant to be apples to apples ones. Rather, they're more of an illustration of what you might expect out of the box without doing all kinds of overclocking and optimizations. But if you do optimize Windows, there's a guide also on the channel for that, and you're likely to get even more performance than what the charts and tables show. So using Cyberpunk, you can see some performance info now and get a better idea of what I've been talking about. For each test, I used the built-in in-game benchmark, and each device is listed and was run at 1200p high and 1600p medium settings, with FSR2 or DLSS balanced for 1200p and performance for 1600p. Why did I choose to do that rather than turn off all the upscalers? Well, because I wanted a more representative comparison of a real use case. Also, each benchmark was run 3 times to ensure a better average and representative result. And I've also thrown a comparison with my daily driver, the ASUS X16 Flow, with an RTX 3060, with and without the XG Mobile, which has a 6850M XT inside. Now with little tricks like FSR3 frame generation and the Luke FZ mod, you can get more out of the things like the Legion Go, and generally speaking you don't need to do that kind of stuff on a laptop like the Pro 5i, as it's got a 4060 built in, for this title specifically anyway. But you'll see that this laptop is way more than capable of driving the same resolutions at basically double the FPS, and interestingly, the Pro 5i even beats out my 16 Flow with XG Mobile. Interestingly, the Pro 5i initially started out on a balanced power profile, which is set in the Lenovo Vantage software, and it really killed the FPS. This was just a surface observation, and it encouraged me to try the different modes and plug in the device as well, which you'll see on this table. So generally speaking, it appears that you'll want to set it to the performance mode in Lenovo Vantage when plugged in so that you can get the maximum performance. And now also for the good stuff. I've compared these results to my desktop, which is running a 5950X and 7900 XTX. In this case, because I don't have a 16:10 monitor, I ran 1200p at 1404p ultra settings and 2160p or 4K at high settings instead. FSR 2.2 with balance and performance respectively were still used to equalize the playing field. So hopefully now you can see a better picture of what frame generation will do in titles like Cyberpunk, and that it'll give you similar FPS to that of a desktop. But even without that, it's actually still quite impressive. Even though the desktop is pushing anywhere from 50 to 75% more pixels and at a higher graphics setting, the FPS is relatively comparable to the Legion Pro 5i, whereby the power consumption is most definitely not, but I'll talk about that a little later. And here's some side-by-side footage of Enshrouded with the Legion laptop against my desktop. Unfortunately, because of YouTube compression, you probably won't be able to really see the difference between the finer details, but on a 16-inch display, you can definitely argue it looks just as good as my 42-inch monitor or TV, since the pixels per inch will be a little bit higher. Another thing worth mentioning here is that the Legion Go, though not shown in my footage, is also capturing hearts with its desktop replacement capabilities, and that device doesn't even have a dedicated GPU. So despite the lower numbers in my performance settings here, we are talking about something that doesn't consume anywhere near the amount of power. So that begs the question, why would you choose this laptop or desktop over a handheld like the Go? And yeah, there it is, you probably wouldn't, not unless you need this level of horsepower for say production work, or you definitely want dedicated inputs or that super high FPS. But there's another question I haven't answered yet. Does the extra power matter? While I didn't do the most scientific job of comparing the power consumption, hopefully these images and short clips will illustrate the difference for you. The Go is just sipping on power, even running at full tilt 30 watt TDP. And then there's the Pro 5i, which definitely consumes more power, ranging somewhere in the 250s, at least I think so. And finally, my desktop, which if you were concerned at all about your power bill, is definitely going to raise some eyebrows, or maybe make you cry, even without a gigabyte PSU installed. So just by sheer numbers alone, you can see that the desktop eats up orders of magnitude more power or electricity. We're talking about more than double the power of the Pro 5i and an upwards of 20 times more juice than the Legion Go. So yeah, that's a serious thing to consider if you're on a tight budget or you don't want to blow a circuit breaker. And so let's try to ask even more questions now about the cost and value, and then I'll tell you what I don't like about this laptop. A Legion Go as of this video is around $650 to $700. This laptop, when on sale, can be around $900 to $1,000. And my desktop would probably set you back around $1,700 or $1,800 when adjusted for current market prices, although I did pay significantly more when I put the parts together, and we're not even counting labor costs there. You know, maintaining a PC, especially as an AI, is a lot of work. Now, because we're talking about desktop replacements, even though the desktop was giving us triple or more the FPS over the Go, when plugged in, the Legion laptop wasn't getting stomped on so badly, as the difference was significantly less than that, whereas the price is close to double. I won't make any comparisons between the Flow and XG Mobile setup, but do leave me a comment if you want to see more of this, or an eGPU shootout. And remember when I was talking about electricity? Now, we're going to do a little bit of math. If you factor that in, my desktop consumes at least double the power of the laptop, closer to triple. We will get... Now the calculations on screen are for only a month of electricity, but if you extrapolate this data even further to a year, the price difference is $140 or more if you're comparing the desktop and the Legion Go, which is definitely not nothing. So going back to the questions, do you need this kind of power? I'm inclined to say no, not if your specific use case is just for gaming. Or at least, I'm inclined to say you don't need these juice-guzzling flagship GPUs. Sure, I'm getting unquestionably better performance with the desktop, but also, I can't just pick up my desktop and take it out with me anywhere, like I would with the Pro 5i or even the Go. I mean, especially because AI don't have bodies or arms. Real quick, I'd like to mention what I don't like about the Legion Pro 5i, because it's not perfect. Though I do like this idea of a desktop replacement in general. The biggest point of this laptop's limitations is its upgradability, because even though you can upgrade some components, you can't switch out everything, just like I did with my GPU, once the desktop started aging. That's not a problem with this laptop specifically, just one with laptops in general, and I suppose the same would hold for your handheld. For the Pro 5i specifically, I would say that I don't like that it doesn't have an Oculink port, but I know Lenovo's got something cooking there. And there are also two other minor gripes that are completely subjective about this laptop. The first one is its weight. Don't get me wrong, this thing packs a massive punch. So it's a heavy weight there too. But I've very much gotten used to the lighter X16 Flow and the even lighter than that Legion Go. And I didn't even tell you about the power brick. Look at this beast. The second gripe I have is fan noise. GG, you clown. You're probably thinking, how can you be a desktop fanboy and whine about fans? Cause fan whine is what people whine about. Let me put it this way. If you've heard about people complaining about the Go, or even a Steam Deck being noisy, boy are they in for a rude awakening here. Mind you, the fans aren't always running at this super high RPM, and you can obviously set it in Lenovo Vantage. But if you're gonna go ham and want all the performance, you're likely to get some big fan noise. So I hope you've got some good headphones, like these ones from today's sponsor. Wait, there are no sponsors to this video. Lenovo did loan this to me, but everything I've said here is absolutely my own opinion, and they're watching this the first time, the same time as you. So do an AI guy a favor and check the links in the description and slap the buttons on screen if you're enjoying the content and want to see more. And now it's time for the verdict. Time to talk turkey, or is it cheddar? What does that even mean? For the money, the Legion Pro 5i definitely offers some serious value, even when compared to the likes of its cousin, the Lenovo Legion Go. If you can get one for around $1,000 or less, it's probably going to take you quite far, and even to a comparably priced desktop. While that desktop will be more powerful, it will also not be portable in any way, and probably chew through your power bill faster than Diablo 4 microtransactions through your credit card. But what about the Pro 5i specifically is good? In my opinion, it's the CPU-GPU combo here, which is a strong offering for its price point. And while I would prefer a Ryzen variant for some power savings and nice iGPU performance, like in the slim models, you could definitely make the argument that using an iGPU on a gaming laptop like this is dumb. So yeah, there's that. Okay, so who is this laptop for? I think really it's for a gamer.
Obviously.
But one that really needs the horsepower to do other things other than just game, like maybe content creation. Because otherwise, you know, I just recommend a handheld like the Legion Go. And there it is. So don't forget to check the Legion Go review next.